All right, everybody, this is Bill Murphy with MMORPG.com, and I am here with Chris Lynch, the lead combat designer for WildStar Online. Chris, hey, man, what's going on?
How's it going? We're here at E3, having a good time, actually.
Yeah, so obviously we're at E3. I was unaware until like 2 days ago that you guys were even going to be playable on the show floor. How's the show been going so far? What are you guys seeing from the fans and the press coming around?
Actually, it's surprising. I mean, we only found out last week, at least I only found out last week. And the amount of fans that have actually stopped by saying they're excited to see us on the floor, it's been really, really good. See lots of people from beta actually get a chance to come talk to me, which has been a lot of fun for me because I get direct beta feedback, and I get to tell them kind of little snippets and little secrets of what's come down the pipe.
You'll tell us secrets too.
I will tell you some secrets. I might be limited on how much I can say on camera, but I will give you some secrets.
Okay, pretend it's not there because it's focusing on Joe anyway.
Okay.
And we'll just kind of turn this way and we'll take a look at what he's doing there. All right, so you're the lead combat designer. We'll focus on that at first. What exactly, he's playing a Stalker, right?
He's playing a Stalker right there.
All right, and that's
Drakken Stalker.
The Drakken Stalker. So let's give people a kind of an overview. Most of our fans on our website sort of know what WildStar's combat's all about.
Okay.
It's got the sort of active targeting and stuff like that, but give us a brief overview of how it works and how it's different from a traditional MMO system.
Okay. I would start off with the basics, right? I mean, if you've seen our movement video, our dev speak up movement, if you haven't seen it, go see it. If you have, you're going to hear some of the same stuff. What I'm going to say here is movement is really, really big in WildStar. And what you're seeing right here is the red decals there, what he just died to.
Oh, he died?
He died. What you're seeing right there is what we call a telegraph. And that's kind of one of the early foundations of our combat. We've built it around the idea of the 3 R's, recognize, react, and reward. We teach you early on, red is bad. You don't want to be in the red. Get out of the red, stay out of the red, right? So we teach you to recognize, hey, red is bad. Your reaction should be to either interrupt it or get out of it. And getting out of it, we've actually given you a lot of tools. If we can actually show dodge.
Dodge. How do you dodge?
Basically, you have a couple options. Right now, it's set up to double tap.
Double tap.
You double tap a direction, so double tap forward. You dodge all the way, right? Okay. So we give you these tools early on because we want you to get out of those red decals.
Okay.
A couple other things that are different is we have shift to sprint, as he's doing right now.
Shifting, gotcha.
Yep.
And you have an energy bar for that.
Yep. And you have dash tokens as well for your dashes, so you can't dash infinitely.
Okay.
We also have double jump. So if you double tap the spacebar there, you can actually double jump higher, right? That's just the foundation of our movement system, which allows you to get into combat and actually start experiencing what we call telegraphs, right? And if he heads out here right now...
Where is he at? Is it Krasarang Wilds? Where is this?
This is Daradoon. This is actually Daradoon.
Okay.
What's happening here is the Drakken have just arrived on the planet, right?
Yeah.
And the Emperor Mercalis has
So this is the starting zone?
Yeah, actually it's the third zone.
Third zone, okay.
Third zone.
I can't see what level he is. My eyes
level
suck.
6 right now. You're around level 6.
Okay.
So you've got through your tutorial zone and then your early zone. And you're right here. And this was a gift to the Drakken.
Yeah.
The Drakken are they like to hunt, right?
Yeah.
And they were given this nice plains, or savanna area, to hunt some of the most crazy, terrible, dangerous creatures known on Nexus, right? And so they're all here for the great hunt. It's kind of like it's a ceremony thing they do on the planet. Every time they arrive on a new planet, is they hunt the most dangerous creatures on the planet.
Like Predator?
Yep, Predator.
That's awesome.
Exactly. I didn't want to say that directly, but close, yes. But yeah, let's get back to the basics right here.
Yeah.
Combat.
So we just saw him, he actually got out of the what do you call them? You're calling them not the alerts.
Telegraph.
A telegraph. Yeah, it escaped me.
Yeah.
Because those like raptor-looking things were actually telegraphing what they were doing, and he was right there. You see, wildlife's actually fighting.
Yeah, wildlife's fighting. So that's another thing we try to do. Is we try to have we want our world to really come to life. So we have a great encounters team, and their job is to place all these creatures in the game and create all the non-combat AI you see, and that's including things such as predator prey stuff. So the Malvarine here, he's about to fight, big mean guy. He's actually a predator in the area, and he likes to hunt all the prey. He likes to eat, right? So he's actually going to seek out deer, grazers, stuff like that, to eat them. Another thing our encounters team does is they create facilities, what we call them facilities. And I'm going to get a little technical here, if that's okay.
Okay.
Basically, facilities are these invisible signs that things hold up in the game, right?
Okay.
And the creatures can see these signs. Players can't see these signs, but the creatures can. And what we do is we can place things like, if you look over here, we have water, right? We can place a facility here that says water. That means every creature in the game knows, hey, there's water over there. And if I want water, at some point my AI tells me I want water, I can go look for water, right? So I'm going to look for the nearest sign. That's why we call them signs, right? Yeah. I'm looking at a sign in the game. And the creature's going to go, hey, water, I'm going to travel over there. And our counter team places them intelligently in that, hey, the prey is going to want to travel to the water to drink every now and again because they're thirsty. and we put the predators on the way to the water. So the prey will travel, cross the predator's
Looking
path,
for it.
the predator will hunt it, kill it, try to kill
Nice.
it. And that's why you start getting this ambient behavior.
And that's different because all the zones have sort of like their own ecosystem and everything
Exactly.
like that too. Yeah.
But the nice thing about this is as long as we do our facilities correctly, we can place a creature down in any game or any part of the game, and it'll react according to the way it should,
Yeah.
right? It just gets placed in the ecosystem. It's like, hey, how should I interact with this ecosystem?
Now, explain how that would work. Do you take those same facilities and translate them into something bigger, like a bigger encounter, like a raid or a dungeon also?
We
Are there
definitely can do
signs
that.
like that in there?
And the facilities is more of a, we'll call it a generic system, more
Okay.
of a plug and play system.
Yeah.
And the dungeons and raids, we're actually get a lot more specific.
Okay.
We're gonna hand tune these. We're gonna want very, very specific things to happen. So we could use facilities and we do use them, but for the most part, we want to get in there and we want to fine tune it. Where's
Well,
facilities?
let's talk about that then,
Okay.
if you can.
Yep.
I know that Jeremy had said in the past that the raids are actually going to change on almost like a weekly basis.
Yep.
So that you will have like maybe one guild is best at running it one week, but then next week they won't know how to
Yep.
take down a boss, but another guild will. How's that process going? Have you been doing that on the test servers and stuff like that so far?
It's not on the test service right now. We're definitely doing this internally right now.
Mm-hmm.
When we design the raids, we have to design multiple, not paths, multiple ideas, multiple ways that we can do the same encounter, right? And what we're doing is we need to have a rotation. Let's say we're going to play around with 3 or 4 to start off with, and that means on a week-to-week basis, all the servers are going to get the same random version of it. So it's going to be even playing ground. It's not like my server got the easy version this
Yeah.
week and you got the hard version. That's why you're the best one this week. It's more of a every server will have the same encounter in the same setting of that encounter, but it also keeps it fresh, right?
Yeah.
So we can design 3 or 4 versions of the same encounter, but it's just different. It might be hard one week for certain class combinations. It might be easy next week for us.
How different will it be? Is there like an example you can give us of how something will change? Will it be like number of mobs, level of mobs, or is there actually like mechanics that?
It could be all of that.
Okay.
It could be all that. Some examples I can say is, hey, one week the path through the dungeon might be, going from X, Y, Z, and the next week it might be A, B, C, right? Totally different paths. You might experience different creatures, different cluster combinations, maybe even different bosses.
Okay.
But yeah, we can change it up on a weekly basis.
Do the rewards change as well then?
Rewards, that's a little bit up in the air. I don't actually know. I would say, actually, I do know. The reward system is separate from that. So if you complete the
Gotcha.
raid or you complete the dungeon, you will get different rewards from the bosses potentially.
But not
But the
tokens.
overall reward at the end, it's not tokens. It's more of a how well did you do the dungeon?
Oh, okay.
And there's a reward system at the end of the dungeon. You'll get like a bronze, silver, or gold medal.
So what if you fail the dungeon and you guys give up? You don't get anything?
No, you get loot from each of the bosses you were
Okay,
able to beat. Any of the creatures that drop
But
loot,
if you complete it and you complete it poorly, you'll get less
Yeah.
reward
Yeah.
than if you were like,
Yeah.
I did that in 5 minutes, it's done.
we definitely incentivize you to go all the way through the dungeon and to do it as best as possible.
Okay.
The things that determine your bronze, silver, and gold medallion, we're still playing around with.
Okay.
Trying to figure out what is best. Because, we don't want to necessarily say that timed run is the only way you can get gold, because
Yeah.
not everybody enjoys doing a speed
Speeding
run,
it.
right? So we're trying to figure out what the best way to do that is.
Well, that brings me to a good question too. And speaking of time, traditional, a lot of the team on at Carbine Studios originally came from Vanilla WoW.
Yep.
And Vanilla WoW is known for having epically long dungeons and stuff like that. Is that same mentality brought over to WildStar, or are they shorter? Are they more like hour-long adventures? Are the raids really long? Are they broken up? Like, how's the timing going? Like, will I need 6
for
hours
me-
on a weekend to raid?
So one of the ones we most recently worked on is Storm Talon. And
Yeah.
one of the things I like to do, I'm going to get technical, or
That's
maybe
okay.
not technical, designy, let's
Yeah,
say.
that's fine. The people
I like to
it.
have a timeline of the entire dungeon. I like
Okay.
to know what a player is doing every second of that dungeon, so I can make sure it's not getting too repetitious. That's even a word.
That is a word.
It is a word. Okay, good.
I think.
I want to make
should
sure it's
know.
not. And I also want to make sure that and I'm talking about when I'm going through the dungeon. It's not just a timeline of, oh, this is the first encounter they do, second, third, fourth. I'm talking about every second.
Yeah.
I know every second within a boss fight what they're going to be doing. So the fight mechanics, we're not designing bad fight mechanics. We're actually keeping them fresh. The player's always experiencing something new, but when we're designing them, if we have a timeline, we know that if the warrior is doing X, we know that, hey, we don't need to give the warrior another obstacle or something that they can't handle. We can't take 2 things at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Across the room, at least. But I like to time everything out to make sure that everything's staying fresh. So ideally, no more than 10 to 15 minutes between boss fights.
Gotcha.
And ideally,
Not a lot of trash.
I know every single trash pull you're going to make.
Gotcha.
And I know how long every single trash pull is going to take, down to the second, like I said,
Yeah.
down to the second. And I also know how long each boss fight takes down to the second.
And are the trash pulls going to be challenging too, or are they going to
Yes.
be more like annoying?
We actually try to design our trash pulls to be almost like boss fights in themselves.
Okay.
Because since we do so few of them, we can take some time to spend. I mean, we don't just spew them out, right?
Yeah.
We actually take the time, create some puzzle for you to solve within that trash pull, and then we make sure we create enough of these trash pulls, enough of these puzzles that we can actually populate the entire dungeon. So let's take Storm Talon, for example. Storm Talon's 30 to 45 minutes.
Yes.
Has 3 bosses. Then has sub bosses that can be skipped if you want to. That means that if each trash pull, or base pop, we like to call them base pop, we don't like to call them trash pulls. If each base pop pull,
Say it again.
base pop,
Base pop.
population.
Okay.
If each base pop pull takes 45 seconds to 1 minute, that means I need to have about, because you have to count for rest time, like I said, every single second accounted for. You need to have about 6 to 7 base pop pulls before the first boss.
Okay.
And then you have the first boss. First boss takes about 3 to 4 minutes.
All right.
And then you count, okay, I have 6 to 7 to 8, 10 minutes to work with, right? I need 6 or 7 more base pop pulls to go.
How did you come up with these numbers? Did you guys like do a lot of testing yourselves with focus groups, or just like yourselves and like this feels good or this doesn't feel good internally?
A little both. I mean, even within the company, you know, we have lots of artists, programmers, designers that don't necessarily work on the dungeons themselves, but they play MMOs, and they're a great test bed for us to start off with. And then we put it in the beta, you know. And so far the beta feedback on Storm Talon has been amazing. They love Storm Talon. And I want to get footage of it out there soon because I can't release the footage myself.
We've seen it.
Oh, you've seen it?
No, I mean, we haven't seen the footage. We've seen the reveal of the dungeon, and that's about it.
Okay. I would love to get it because I know lots of people have been, not to segue, but lots of people have been talking about, you know, telegraphs.
Yeah.
And if you can see what the boss is doing, how is that hard?
Yeah.
And all I have to do is show them a video and they go, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
I don't mean to tease right now, but I mean, if I could just
You
show
still
that
need
video,
skill. It's like skill shots in any other sort of game. Like you need to know when to do this and how to do this, and not to mention coordinate that with a group.
Yep, and it's also, we were more of an action-based game.
Yeah.
We incorporate movement into a lot of these fights.
And terrain, right? You can actually hide behind walls to get away from things like that, or jump behind something if someone's chasing you.
I mean, there's everything. I mean, we take a lot of this into consideration.
Let's segue to PvP and some of the PvP match types. I know we can't talk much about war plots right now, other than that you guys are working on it and it's coming into the beta shortly, soon. But let's talk about some of the actual PvP sort of. You don't call them battlegrounds. What do you call them?
We call them battlegrounds.
They are battlegrounds.
Yeah, we have arenas, battlegrounds,
arenas and
war
battlegrounds.
plots.
Let's tell the difference between all those. So the arenas are small team-based, like esports sort of.
Yes, it's going to be. Imagine the pure player versus player, right?
Yeah.
There are no buffs, or not beyond your class. There is no outside influence. It's basically we have 2v2, 3v3, and 5v5, and it's just pure skill versus skill, right? We try to eliminate as much outside influence as possible. That means like no momentum buffs right now.
Yeah, straight up kill each other.
We just want your skill, your deathmatch, your skill versus someone else's skill, go, right?
Gotcha.
And that's just, we have an arena, it takes place, it's like,
and gear is pared down so that everybody's sort of like an even level playing field, or is gear still
we can do that. We have 2 different versions, right? Okay. We have one where we we really go down to skill versus skill. We say, hey, even your statistics are very
everything's
close.
level.
Yeah, it's a level playground. And then we also have, you know, for the people who like want to show off their gear, or, you know, experience that, we're gonna have that as well. Yeah, exactly. Things I can't say.
And what about the battlegrounds themselves?
Battlegrounds, they are what we call leveling PvP.
Okay.
From the get-go, you can join up into a battleground.
From level 1?
Yep, from level 1. That may change depending on, you know, we might want you to have, you know, get out of the tutorial first, or we might want you to get to level 6 first. But for right now, level 1, go. Okay. Right? You can get in there, you can start fighting. And everybody's, we have rallying and mentoring. Everybody's rallied to the same level, right? Yes. In this case, you would be rallied up to the highest level of the battleground. Your statistics would be scaled up that part. Your abilities would be scaled up to that part as well. And it's objective based. You can earn experience for killing people. You can earn path experience currently. And it's what we expect players to do to level up through PvP if they want to.
And if they want to, they don't have to ever touch anything else.
Yep.
That's cool.
And currently we have 2 in beta testing. Actually, we have 1 in beta testing.
I know the one where you can, like, if you're stealth too long, you get beer bottles thrown at you.
That is the arena.
That's the arena.
That is the arena. Battlegrounds, we don't do that.
Okay.
Because the battlegrounds are objective based. If you hide, you're wasting your team's time. Yeah.
Oh, good, an AFKer, cool.
Yeah. We will have systems in place that I won't talk about right now,
That'll
but
kick
we'll
them
have,
out.
we'll have systems in place to safeguard against
Community
that
kick.
stuff. Yeah.
That would be good. All right, well, let's talk about a little bit about the world PvP, because I know we're
Okay.
running kind of short on time.
Yep.
I know that it'll be server-based, so if you don't want to participate in world PvP, you could be on a PvE server and flag
Correct.
yourself if you wanted to, right?
Correct.
Now, talk about the world PvP then, and how it would be on like an open PvP server.
Currently, we're still experimenting with
Okay.
this. So a lot of what I'm going to say right now is experimental.
Fluid. We'll call it fluid, folks.
Fluid.
It's very fluid design.
We're going to be submitting this to beta, see how it goes. But the current plan is this. We're going to have areas that flag you automatically for PvP. So if you enter actually I might be talking about PvE.
Let's talk about world PvP.
Let's talk about World PvP. Okay? We're going to have, sorry, I was getting my server types confused.
It's going to be a long week.
Okay, yeah. So we'll have areas that flag you for PvP.
Yeah.
And if you enter these areas, you'll automatically be flagged for PvP.
Okay.
And you can fight other people.
Okay.
On the PvP servers, you'll be flagged for PvP all the
Constantly.
time. Yes.
No safe zones unless, but there'll be guards and
there'll be
stuff.
safe zones and there'll be guards.
Yeah.
One of the big differences we're doing from PvE to PvP guard-wise is that on a PvE server, the guards will be raid 40. They'll basically kick your butt real quick, right?
Gotcha.
On the PvP servers, we're going to lower them a little bit. We're going to make them 5-man.
Could you take over a town and stuff like that?
You could definitely try. We will prevent you from griefing, like killing quest NPCs and stuff like that, because we don't want you to like pretty much gate someone's ability to progress through the game.
Yeah.
But you will be able to raid towns and kill people within the towns if you're able to overpower the guards. As far as looting a body or anything like that, you won't be able to loot someone else's body.
Okay.
You will get experience from killing them.
You will get experience.
You will get
That's
experience from
good.
killing. You get experience from killing people in Battlegrounds.
Good.
That's one of the ways you level.
Okay.
Do you have any other specific questions about?
So if you can't full loot PvP,
Yep.
Do you get more experience if you kill like some guy who's killed like 30 people? in a
yeah,
row?
is there sort of like a bounty system at all in place that you're thinking about?
Currently, no, but that is definitely something we should
A
investigate.
good idea.
Bounty system.
Yeah, I like that.
Imagine the guild warfare between that.
I will say that we will have systems in place that will lower the experience you get
Okay.
from killing someone repeatedly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't want you
Diminishing
farming.
returns.
Yeah, diminishing returns.
Yeah.
There's no reason we shouldn't be able to go the other way.
Okay. I think that kind of wraps everything up, really. I guess really one last question is, when will we know more about more beta testing?
More beta testing.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually not my department, but I know that we're always inviting more people, so you should sign up for beta right now.
And there's a nice long form you have to fill out.
Yep, nice
And
long
it's-
form.
Because that way you can weed out the wieners.
Yes.
Like me, who are like, I don't want to fill this form out. It's too long.
You should fill it out.
I can't. They're going to be like, oh, you're press. You don't get to play this anyway.
Oh. Well, you should contact them and let them know you're press.
I should.
And they will let you know as soon as we're gonna let the press in.
Which is soon, TM?
Soon, TM. Yeah, I don't know.
And you're still aiming for this year release?
As soon as it's ready. That's
As soon as it's ready.
As soon as it's ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, Chris.
Thank you
Been
very
great.
much.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.